Hi, this is Derek, and I'm here talking to you guys about awkward conversations with a youth pastor, where we look at what's going on in society today and we have an honest, open conversation about it, where we try not to offend people, but maybe we will along this journey, or maybe we won't. My goal is to say, why are we getting away from Jesus, and what are the things causing us to that seem like social norms? And so today I actually have two guests here with us that I'm super excited to talk to. One is Louis Monroe, and the other one is Joseph Fidalgo. And they come from two uniquely different backgrounds, but have both had a ton of experience with one subject in particular, which is social media. And so today I would like to ask a couple tough questions to see if we could have an honest conversation about the highs and lows, the goods and bads, and the downright naughties of social media, and where we go with this. And so you guys, as we know, social media can be used in so many different ways in this time. And so let's just ask the hard part. Since I am a youth pastor, we're going to keep it to the younger generation for a second. What are some of the things that you like best? We'll go positive first, about the younger generation using social media.
Technology. I like the fact that they're using technology because transitioning even in the school, Google Classrooms, so social media can be a positive outlet if used correctly because it's technology, and it also allows them to interact with their friends without interacting with their friends.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and time.
Connection is fun, huh?
Yes.
Right?
That's what I was going to say, is connection. You're able to see your friend if you go on vacation. I think there's a double-edged sword to that. But you can experience all unique things, whether it's traveling to a different country or seeing places that you'll never get to see before with another friend. You can connect with them, and they're in New Zealand.
So I don't know if you guys know, but 31% of teens have had a positive effect with social media. 45% of teens are kind of straight down the middle, goods and bads. It's just the average thing. But 24% have been affected negatively with social media. And so what are some of the experiences that you have had when it comes to social media and the negative impacts, or the negative impact that you see on the next generation?
I think it's played as a facade. I think everybody looks. I think that's one bad thing about social media is there's always I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's always like, I want that, or and there's a little bit of jealousy towards that. Like you see somebody that's in shape or has a nice car or has a beautiful house, or their family always looks happy, or something's going on in their life that might not be so great as the picture that you're seeing. For myself personally, it's just a picture, but the outcome on that picture is either really good, which it's the attention you don't want, or it's really bad, which it's not the intentions that you're putting that picture out for. So I think the line is very blurry, and I think you have to be very careful on how you put yourself out there, because it can have a strong effect. I've had a lot of things happen. I've been catfished, probably. It sounds, but it's really sad.
Wow.
But I've never been personally catfished, but people have.
I was the girl that catfished him. I made a cow, and I was like, yo, baby. And he was totally there.
No, I meant it the other way around.
Oh, okay.
They used my picture
to catfish others.
Yeah, to catfish others. And I've actually contacted some of the people, and it's hurt them really bad because they put out personal information about themselves to somebody that they think's me and is not. And it's like, you feel like, hey, I've been talking to you for a year, and I always thought that was kind of weird. You'd never, respond when I wanted to hang out. Like, well.
Louis, what do you think, man?
I think he's right.
Hopefully.
But what it does also, it's the driving point of the desires of a younger generation who wants something. Social media has taken the reality out of reality, because a lot of young people, even though you're inspired to, they teach you if you want to be great, get around some great people. If you want to be wealthy, get around some wealthy people. But I think with social media, it's like a two-edged sword, as you said earlier, because yes, you're trying to aspire to their lifestyle, but it's missing the point of where you really are. So you end up trying to aspire to do this, and you can't afford that.
It's like spending your paycheck.
Yeah, so you're in a whole nother room. The other negative part of social media is, as you say, about being catfish. But the other reality is predators.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've had my cousin, who was on Snapchat. There was a predator that was on the other side. My son was friends, so this predator was going after young people, male or female. Come to find out, it was a predator, and he had already molested a young person when they set him up. So I mean, social media, you really sometimes don't know who you're talking to.
Final question, guys. Final question. Actually, I have two more. What do you feel like when you see a 16-year-old posting a provocative picture of the opposite sex?
I'm pissed off. I'm sorry. And I'm mad at their parents, because for a 16-year-old who comes from a parent that watches and controls. I have a 14-year-old, 18-year-old, 28-year-old, and a 24-year-old. I'm on all of their social media. My daughter, the youngest one, posted young, wild, and free. I posted right under 32 seconds later, wild, really? She went back and adjusted it. My issue is, if you're gonna allow your child to be a walking billboard, and now you're pissed off because grown men look at them, you put that picture out, you allow them to put that picture out, and I get upset that you're trying to go from 16 to 26 instead of every step. Be 16 all 365 days you're 16. I see it from a different standpoint, because you put yourself out this in this provocative way. This young cat hollers at you, you guys get it, but then the catch is he's only looking at you from your body standpoint, because he was attracted to a picture, a provocative picture, which you gave yourself out as that person, which that really wasn't you. So I get upset when I see it, because there needs to be a guardian or a big brother or a cousin or best friend. It's like, hey, check her.
The sad part about this too is 1 out of 8 students right now have at least 3 different social media profiles. And so the issue between this is I've struggled with that same concept, but also been like, did you know that your student has 3 other social media accounts? And then they're like, what? You know, and so like I think there's also an awareness factor too, where it's not just a parent, not like, because there's not a lot of dads out there where I'm like, is it okay that your daughter posted this? And there's not a lot of them that are gonna be like, yeah, dude, that was great, you know. The issue then becomes of like, did you know your daughter posted this? And he was like, I'm on her Instagram, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna leave that there for your house. I'll see you later. You know, yeah.
When I was a youth pastor, the biggest thing was MySpace.
Oh, dude, that was my youth pastor's problem.
I got the music on there.
So
my top 10.
So the problem is you have when you're a youth pastor, you get to see any and everything. I'll do it that way. And there's things that, some of the stuff you don't even want to.
You're all, dear God, please.
But it comes to you. And so as a youth pastor, I found myself counseling more than I expected to. Because as a youth pastor, when I saw something that was posted, and I know the family, and so now I'm saying, okay, I gotta find a way to break into this kid's life without breaking them or even shaming them. But I also got to be able to break it in so that I can bring his parents without judgment. That becomes the hardest part, because
how do I speak truth?
Yes. So what I normally do,
feelings, right?
so what I had to do is I had to learn to become friends with parents and get them to understand, trust me, I'm not going to take your child in a direction that you wouldn't take them. That's why I love you, because we've team parent with my oldest child. You know, the things and so I think as a youth pastor, it's hard because you see this provocative picture, but you know that this is, wait a minute, she was on my worship team. What's going on that's driving you to get that attention, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, what in your life broke down a spiritual battle that you thought that it was okay?
Yeah.
You understand? So it forces me as a youth pastor with that cap on, it puts me in a whole different area, because now how do I address them? Because I know that there's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's a bigger issue, especially if you've been around them so long.
And it's kind of tough because as a young teen, you're probably looking at it as like, oh, I got a bathing suit and I want to show it off.
Right.
Well, I got a new workout. And
Right.
so they're taking a picture and it's, the guys
Swole mates.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've done it. Like you got your shirt off or
Right.
something and you look good and you feel good and you're just putting it out there. But the attention, I think, is the biggest thing. Is it's like, I don't think they realize the repercussion of the attention they're going to get, because that stuff will follow you around. Nowadays, you put it on the internet,
It's not
and
going
it is
nowhere.
not coming off. And
Nope.
I mean, I don't even.
There's some pictures out there with Derrick Alvarez in them that, well, let's just say I hope a lot of people never see. But
Hope the internet breaks. That's all.
Final question. So as we talk about this subject, there's also the flip side for adults, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of adults at a certain age still have the issue of what pictures they're posting, but I think it changes when it says adults, what I found, will say a lot of things about pictures, and what they say a lot of times is almost just as harmful as the pictures that the young people post. And so how do we feel about what's being said on the internet and a lot of comments these days?
I think that there is a, because you said parents and you're dealing with generations.
Yeah.
There is a thought, and being African American, coming from the African American community, that when you get to a certain age, you basically say whatever the heck you want to say.
Yeah.
And so in our community, we're reversing that, because you can't say whatever you want to say, because what you say is just offensive as you saying it to me, just you typed it.
Yeah.
And for you typing, it meant it was inside of you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just a quick response. So you got to learn, as you said, you got to hold them to a standard that, just as much as I can't stand that this 16-year-old, 18-year-old posted this picture.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, first of all, it is not my responsibility to be the social media police.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't have the openness to say whatever the heck I want to say to this particular person. I think what happens is it opens up a Pandora box, because you're trying to correct the wrongness, but you're going about it the wrong way, because now you're being disrespectful. So how do I respect you? And you were blatantly disrespectful towards me.
Yeah.
And I think that
It
becomes
almost comes like a heart issue.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you got to have your heart behind whatever you're putting out there.
I think part of the reason I ask this question is because a lot of times what I find is parents that are willing to say anything on social media also have the same students that are willing to post anything on social media.
Right.
So I see the direct correlation of both of these things look differently. And then I ask the question as the youth pastor, where's Jesus in all of this?
Yeah.
And so the uncomfortable conversation for the day is, where is Jesus in social media, and why are we so far away from him? With that being said, guys, I so appreciate your time, and thank you guys for coming. Next week, or the next post we'll have the students' perspective and see where they're coming from, because I like having uncomfortable conversations with all generations. You guys have a great week.